So I tried ayahuasca. I'm so excited to make this video. I have been planning it for a long time and I think I'm finally ready to talk about the entire experience. It was really crazy. Just to give you some background on me, I really have very little experience in my life with drugs. I have smoked marijuana before. Don't tell my dad, he would freak out. And I have quite extensively had my experiences with alcohol. But I have never tried anything really beyond that. This was my first time experiencing a hallucinogen, and it works. Ayahuasca tea has the key ingredient DMT, and if you guys don't know about DMT, it's actually this really cool chemical that your body naturally produces. It's actually released in your brain when you die, and that's what causes many people to see the light or have these out-of-body experiences. But when you drink the ayahuasca tea, you have a surge of DMT, and it makes you have hallucinations. The difference between ayahuasca and other hallucinogens like shrooms, for example, is that apparently ayahuasca is supposed to be a little bit more of an intense experience. When I was reading up on it before, and I wanted to read up on it very little because I didn't want to ruin my experience by having some kind of preconceived notion as to what I would be experiencing, but I wanted to make sure I would be okay. So I looked up very basic things like, am I going to get sick? And the answer was yes. Most people who drink this tea throw up, and throw up a lot. Apparently it could give people chills, and you can have like the sweats, and you can cry uncontrollably because it's supposed to like bring up your past demons or something like that. It's supposed to bring back, any kind of trauma that you've had in your life, and you relive it to an extent, but it's supposed to be therapeutic in that it allows you to overcome certain things or maybe gain some sense of closure. But this was kind of, really freaking me out. I had no idea what I was going to experience because I had no prior history taking drugs like this, and I was afraid that I was going to embarrass myself, that I would say something on camera, or that I would have this horrible traumatic experience and all of it would be documented and then on the internet forever. I was really scared. And I remember I was finally kind of coming to terms with the fact that I was going to do this because I thought it was a cool idea. I wanted to have the experience myself, and I also wanted to do it from a research standpoint too for the show, because my show was about wellness, and this is something people do to help them psychologically. And I'm a big advocate for ways to overcome issues with mental health, so I really did want to try it for that reason too. I had like built myself up. It was the day before we were shooting other episodes, and the producer comes up to me and he's like, I'm really excited about tomorrow. I know that you're nervous, but I think you're gonna be okay. Just make sure you pack, some comfortable clothes, a sweatshirt in case you get cold, and maybe an extra pair of underwear. I was like, wait, what? Say that again? He's like, oh yeah, just in case. I'm like, in case what? Well, apparently, and this is something I didn't know, I was aware of the vomiting, but I was not aware that sometimes people shit their pants.
My fear is that I'm going to get very sick and shit my pants.
It can get really scary. One thing you need to remember is don't fight it. So if you feel like you're dying, then just die.
I don't want to die.
No, you have to die.
So with this new information, I was even more nervous for the next day, but I was thankful for the fact that they allowed me to bring my friend, Nikki. You guys have seen her before. I've had her in many of my videos before. They allowed me to take her with me on the show.
Hi, I'm Nikki.
Nikki, how are you?
I decided to bring a friend with me because I was so nervous. I had no experience trying drugs like this before. The thought of doing that alone made it more scary. I was able to sit down with the shaman who was performing the ceremony, and I asked all kinds of questions like, is it going to be safe?
Is this a relatively safe thing to do?
Well,
even though I'm going to be throwing up a lot, probably?
Well, we call that purging.
Okay.
We're getting rid of that negativity. Pretty much, I'm sure you will purge, but not too much.
All of the journey is a positive experience for him, so he views even the negative parts as healing. For example, whenever you throw up, he views that as purging evil and just, expelling the negativity from your body. I view it as throwing up.
Yeah.
You've done quite a few of these ceremonies, huh?
Well, I hosted over 200, and then I participated about 300 times, and I did 90 days straight before too, so.
90 days straight of you taking it?
Yeah, every day.
And I did take some comfort knowing that he has done this many times before, so that was a comforting thing to have. And as far as the legality, a lot of people ask me, is it legal? Well, here you go.
Is this legal?
In the United States, it's illegal.
Okay.
But I wouldn't mind going to jail for this.
Okay, well, I hope not.
Oh, I know. I'm sure no. Mother Iowa already told me.
Okay, so she's good. She's watching
Right.
over us.
Right.
We're not going to jail.
Right.
Ayahuasca exists kind of in this legal gray area. It is legal for religious or spiritual purposes. And as far as I'm concerned, I mean, there was a shaman there. It was a ceremony that was performed. It was for the purposes of a spiritual experience, so legal. So yeah, apparently in the context of a religious ceremony, this can be something that is legal. But, you know, he kind of psyched me out a little bit. I had done so good getting to that point and not researching too much into what I was going to be experiencing, because I didn't want to have, like, you know, if someone says, oh yeah, when you hallucinate, you just see, you know, floating cows. You know, if I have that idea in my head, then maybe whenever I take this drug, I'm going to start to see floating cows. But is it because I'm really imagining that in my brain and that's just a common occurrence? Or is it because somebody told me I was going to see floating cows? But unfortunately, whenever I sat down with the shaman, he did kind of say a couple of things. So I don't know if that affected my experience. I don't believe that it did, but here's what he said to me.
I mean, if you see like a bunch of snakes, just dive into it. Having a fear is like, you know, that's part of a process. You'll be okay.
Is the biggest fear here just like, I'm going to hallucinate and see scary things?
That's up to Mother Iowa. What she's Mother Iowa. Ayahuasca is a feminine energy.
Okay.
She's gonna show you what that, you know, what you require at the moment.
Kittens and puppies?
Well, I don't think, you know, I've seen people saw kittens, but I saw people seeing like dead corpse and stuff. But
I did not see any dead bodies, so that was a huge relief.
You mentioned that it helps people with anxiety.
Right.
I definitely have a lot of that going on.
The love that you're gonna feel, the God that you're gonna meet, it's gonna take all your anxiety away, you know, and then that's permanent.
Okay, well, I think I'm ready to try it.
All right, let's do it. I'll go get the ayahuasca and
Yeah.
have a nice journey.
Okay. I'm like really freaking out. I feel like now I have in my head that I'm going to see snakes or dead people.
I'm hoping we don't get the pit of snakes.
He said there's a chance I might not puke, but I think I'm probably gonna puke.
I'm prepared. I brought hair ties.
Oh God, yeah, me too.
Let's do this.
You ready?
Let's do it.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Are you guys ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna hit the light.
Okay.
So what he ended up doing is he made me the ayahuasca tea and he put them into little shot glasses. He broke it up into 3 doses that we could choose to keep going or choose to stop depending on our comfort levels.
Yeah, doesn't that look tasty? That's the shit I was drinking last night.
I took the first shot. It was really disgusting. I can't even describe the taste. It was very bitter and it tasted kind of like dirt. And it had a really terrible aftertaste. I don't know. It was gritty and brown and kind of sloshy. Ugh, it was not pretty. So I took this first shot and nothing was really happening. I mean, I was looking at the tree that was there and the tree was kind of moving a little bit, but I'm like, you know, okay, is that it? And then I started feeling kind of sad. I remember at the time I was kind of going through in my mind thinking, gosh, people do this as a means to achieve some kind of closure for trauma in their life. And then I started thinking about all the things people might have gone through to bring them to the point of needing to take a drug like this to overcome whatever it was that they were going through. And that made me sad. So I was just kind of sitting there feeling kind of depressed for a little while and not really seeing anything. And I was like, well, if this is it, that's kind of lame. I got sick pretty fast. He told me that if I felt nauseous to try not to throw up, but unfortunately, you know, when you're sick, you're sick. I had the urge to throw up and I did. I kept it down for maybe like 10 minutes, which is nothing. So whenever he offered the second shot, I was all for it because I was feeling really not a whole lot and I threw up so quickly I don't feel like the first dose had a chance to really hit me. Then everything changed. Everything changed. I went from feeling kind of sad and kind of bored, honestly, and annoyed at the chanting to really panicked. I felt out of control, and the way I described it at the time was, you know, whenever you drink too much at a party and then the party's over and the room is spinning and you just want to go home and get in bed, but your head is just really hurting and you're dizzy and you want it to just end, but you can't do anything to make it end and you just feel like you're stuck in this state of like torture. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. That's how I felt. I started feeling really not great. I was dizzy. The room was spinning. I was kind of losing my mind a little bit. At this point, I really was regretting my decision to try this at all. Poisoned myself. This was
fucking stupid.
This is the fear part. Takes about 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
You'll have a breakthrough. Just don't fight it.
And one of the most stressful things for me at the time was that I couldn't keep my mind on any one thought. Like I was trying so hard to just stay mentally in one place. Like, okay, picture my bedroom, picture just my cat, picture, think of candy. You like candy, right? Think of a cat, think of Tippy, think of your cat Tippy. And I could not hold on to any one thought for more than a couple of seconds, even though I was really trying. I felt like I was going crazy.
I don't like this at all. I'm out of control.
This is only gonna last a couple minutes. You're gonna hit the bliss. That's when you feel, oh my God.
Okay.
That'll come, trust me.
I was glaring at the shaman. I was mad. I was mad that I did it. I was mad that I was there. I was mad that I felt sick. And I was mad that he did this to me. He gave me these drugs that I took willingly.
That's purging right there. Nothing comes out.
I can't talk. I don't want to hear talking.
And then I remember throwing up, and the shaman was like, this is good, this is you purging evil. And I'm like, no, it's because I poisoned myself and I'm an idiot. This whole thing is fucking stupid. I want to go home. Yeah, I was being a little bitch. And I don't even remember how long that was lasting or at what point everything changed, but it eventually did.
That's trippy. Okay. But like good, but not.
It's getting better though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, listen, I know we're filming right now, but I'm not in my room. I have nothing of my own that's near me right now, and I feel a little lost. And if I could just hold my phone, I would feel better. Maybe I'm too addicted to technology, but it worked. I felt better. I had my phone. I was like, okay. That's when I noticed I was super high.
Can I have my phone?
Your phone?
Yeah. I got my phone. I looked at the screen. And that is when it really hit me how high I was. Oh my God. Okay.
I looked at the screen of my phone and it was like the keys like popped out of the keyboard and I was like, holy shit.
This is so cool. Somehow I managed to like type a response. Look at the phone. Does the phone not trip you out?
How you doing? I'm tripping balls in a good way.
I'm
Yes.
tripping balls. I actually responded, I'm tripping balls.
And then I got into the carpet and I felt the carpet and it was just so soft. It was the softest thing I'd ever felt in my life. And I felt like I was swimming in it. And I was just having the time of my life. It was like the coolest feeling I think I've ever had.
Moving around is fucking weird. At some point, I wanted to get up and move around because I recognized that I was hallucinating. Everything just looked really cool. I put my hands in the carpet and oh my goodness, that was the coolest thing ever. I feel like I'm like in this carpet right now. Mm-hmm. I saw the carpet like coming up over my hand and like between my fingers and it looked like I was almost like putting my hand in water. I'm swimming in the carpet. But it's cool.
And I was just in a state of like bliss. I was so happy. It was like something that I feel like someone on ecstasy would describe. Everything felt great, sounded great, only you had hallucinations too. Like I started to hallucinate. Like I was looking into the candle. There was a candle in front of me and I just remember like, like the wax on the side of the candle, if there's glass, you can see it melting. Well, all the little lines were coming together to form like this picture of nature. I remember seeing it come together and there'd be like this waterfall with these beautiful trees and it was so cool. And I remember the first thing I saw, this is kind of a weird thing and everyone's gonna interpret this as something religious, but I don't know what it was. I saw these two hands like handing me these like red and white and blue beads. And I remember taking this thing of these beautiful beads and looking at it, and then it like disappeared and turned into this like snake thing. I started seeing snakes, and I don't know if this is like, and it wasn't like a snake like the shaman said, like a scary snake, like they're hissing at me and I'm scared, like, oh my God, it's a snake. It was like a friendly snake. It was a cool snake. And it was like this giant red and blue striped thing just all around me, like big, like this wide around.
I understand the snakes. I just feel like there's a constant motion of everything around me.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's a good snake. Good snake.
It wasn't weird because like I knew I was hallucinating. It's not like I thought it was real. Like I knew that what I was seeing wasn't really there, but I was amazed that my brain could like create this imagery and it was so bright and beautiful. And I remember being thirsty at one point and I picked up my drink and it was like a bottle and like the snake like came out of the end of the bottle and I was like, well, screw it, I'm thirsty, I'm drinking anyway. So like I drank through the snake, but it was really cool. And then I laid down in the bed and I was just thinking and processing everything. I was imagining my snake wrapped all around my body, all the way to the top, and like something that was almost hugging me in a protective way. And then I imagined everyone in my life that I touch, that I talk to, I connect with them, and then they have their like essence, their snake kind of thing that they have around them, and I have mine. And if you touch someone or interact with someone in your life, they like connect in a way. It was like you could physically see a connection that you emotionally feel with a person. And it was really cool. But then I was a little scared of it at the same time, because I had, I started thinking of other times in my life and other people that I had that connection with where they hurt me. And I could actually see this thing wrapped around me like recoil in pain, like it just got stung or something, like reaching back. And then I was like processing that and like, what does that mean to me? And I was, kind of, I don't know. I felt like it was something, I felt like it was like myself trying to tell myself a message that I need to be careful, I suppose, with who I allow in my life, because I am so constantly hurt by people that are close to me. And I've never like viewed myself before in a motherly way. Like this snake thing was like my pet, but it was also me, and I like cared about it and it cared about me, and I didn't want to hurt the snake. But the snake was me. So it was kind of a cool thing, because I've never been that protective of myself, and I guess I need to be. But it was like really cool just imagining all the people in my life that like I've connected with that I shouldn't have, and like lessons that I've learned, and how I should probably care about myself more, which I guess is the story that I took away, the moral of the story. And I didn't think going into this that I was going to have any kind of self-realization.
Maybe this was, a subtle way of trying to tell myself that I need to care more about myself, I need to take better care of myself, and that most importantly, I need to be really careful who I give myself to, because people can hurt you and you should be more protective of that. And that's certainly not something that I've done in my life. So it was a good lesson to learn.
I don't know if you want to call that spiritual. I didn't find God. I didn't become religious. And, you can call it a spiritual experience, but I mean, anytime you self-reflect or learn a life lesson, I mean, I guess if you call that spiritual, then I had a spiritual experience. But it was really cool. I don't know if I would do it again, because I got real sick. I know Nikki did not have a good experience. She did not have any kind of realization or aha moment through the whole thing. She was just miserable and throwing up. She threw up a lot more than I did, so I feel really bad for that. I'm sorry. But yeah, that was my experience on ayahuasca. I got super high, I hallucinated a lot, and I actually did walk away with it with a lesson about myself. And I do have a lot of anxiety and I stress a lot. And I think, honestly, one of the biggest reasons that I have so much anxiety is because I have made so many poor decisions with the people I allow in my life, and it's a stressful thing. The majority of my stress comes from issues that are super personal to me, not so much career, problems or issues like with money or things like that, like practical things, I suppose. It's all emotional stress normally that I feel. And I guess the one thing I needed to learn that I really hadn't thought about before then was that, like, I need to care about myself the same way I care about, like, friends and family and people that I love in general. Like, I need to love myself, and apparently I don't enough. I did not shit my pants. I did throw up a lot, but hey, I didn't shit my pants, so yes. I didn't have any, like, lasting effects. I slept the next day, and then after that I was fine. I didn't have any emotional swings. I didn't have any like post-ayahuasca hallucinations, which they were warning me might happen. Nothing like that. I was like back to my normal self after I got a good night's sleep the next day. So yeah, that's basically it. It was cool. I don't think I want to do it again, just because it was a lot of throwing up, and that mental state of being dizzy and not being able to get out of that and feeling like I couldn't hold on to a thought was like torture. And I don't know if I would necessarily want to go through that to get to this blissful state. According to Nikki, she's done shrooms before. She says that you can have all the good things without necessarily the throwing up and dizziness, so that'd be sweet. But I don't know. I've never tried it, so I have no like comparison there to give you. But that's it. That's my experience, and I hope that this video was interesting to you. I know it's kind of an out there topic, and I would definitely not tell everyone to go try drugs. That's not the message I'm trying to send. I just wanted to like do this for the purposes of an experiment and show you what I got from it. So Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. If you do have any kinds of experiences like these, please also leave your stories because I would love to hear yours. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!